It's just a funny story, actually. I remember my brother almost getting robbed. All right, the story goes that my pops sent him to buy something from the store, and dude ran up on him and tried to run him for his money. And my brother was like, "Listen, if I don't bring this home, my pops is about to be tight." You know what I mean? Like, so my brother was more scared of, my pops' reaction than actually getting robbed. And the dude actually left him alone. He was like, "Yo, this kid is crazy."
Show up at his house unannounced and have to bounce. But slow down. The discipline, the rest is simply profound. Think I'm waiting on death? That's a definite no. I'm trying to get that REM for the soul before I get up and go.
My childhood in the Bronx, I want to say, what I imagined was pretty typical. Both my parents worked. My family moved to Grand Concourse when I was real little, 161st Street. It's a dope neighborhood. There's a lot going on in terms of in the streets in that time era, like early 90s and stuff like that. And so my folks wanted to move us to a better neighborhood. So yeah, we moved to Bronx Neck, which was a nicer neighborhood, but it presented different challenges. Bronx Neck was at least the area where we were in, which was close to Edgewater. And if you are from the Bronx, you know anything about that area, there was a lot of racial tension going on there. That's actually the first time I discovered like what racism, is. I was just a kid. I was like, I don't know, maybe 8, 9, 10. I never really thought about race like that. I remember going to the store with my brother and his grown man. We were just kids. I couldn't have been older than 11 years old. And this grown man like jumped on my brother, like jumped on him. And I'm like running behind the chips, like I'm shook, like yo, what's happening? And it was just straight up racism. The guy was just livid that there was, a couple of Puerto Rican kids in the store. Things have changed, you know what I mean? But I loved Bronx Neck. Bronx Neck was dope, man. On Blair Avenue, where my wife and I were neighbors when we were kids. And so we used to play manhunt, football tag, and all that kind of stuff. All these years later, I ended up getting married. I have 6 kids. I have 6 beautiful children. It's probably the hardest job on the planet, but it's also the most rewarding. Fatherhood is another thing that I believe that God used to save my life and put me on the right path. You all right, buddy? No. Love you, dude. When I was 18, this was a season when things were getting real serious in the streets, like some of my friends getting locked up, people was getting, shot, people was getting, all kinds of wild stuff happening. And I was kind of in the thick of that. My girlfriend ended up getting pregnant, and so it kind of pulled me out of that. I was always very much involved in their lives. People were always like, fathers or men don't do X, right? But I think that's a stereotype. There's a lot of fathers, there's a lot of men that do a lot for their kids and are very hands-on. It's amazing. I don't know who I am outside of fatherhood, which is interesting. It's crazy. What was the secret?
I keep all these toys that I never want to lose them again.
That's a good idea. My oldest son is 15. I think about when I was 15 and where my head was at and the things that I was doing. So yeah, sometimes I can become worried or afraid, but ultimately I've determined to not entertain fear or worry because it does absolutely no good. Being afraid is like, it's like faith in reverse, right? Like, believing the worst is gonna happen. Like believing something that hasn't happened is going to happen. I'm determined to just love them, be there for them, and do the best that I can with what I know. Overall opinion of the Bronx. And the Bronx is slept on. A lot of times people don't want to come to the Bronx, What's up with that, yo? Stop playing. We're very ambitious people. The Bronx is more like yo, let's get it done. We have, like many other places, cities and boroughs around the country and around the world, there's a lot of issues, you know what I mean? In terms of health, in terms of poverty. But, so we have some growing to do like everybody else. I have dreams for the Bronx to be in a better place.